kick off our 15 minutes of stretching today with a little bit of deep breathing and movement. So I'm going to inhale my arms up, reaching up to the sky, and exhale down. Next inhale is inhaling my arms back, so trying to reach my thumbs back behind me as far as I can, and then exhaling them down and forward. And then one more where I'm really reaching my arms up, breathing in as deeply as I can, and exhaling down, letting go of all that air completely. Hopefully already that felt really lovely and refreshing. We're going to play with the breath and the stretching at the same time, because if you're breathing as you're stretching, you're sort of getting this lovely massage from the inside out as you're stretching. So that can be really fun to play with. The next stretch that we're going to do is we're going to just go for a big old morning stretch. So I'm going to inhale my arms up, take an exhale whenever you're ready, and then inhale and take a little bend. So as I'm inhaling, I'm thinking about spreading the ribs. You can come in and out of this, or you can hang out, tipping over to the side. Now, as I'm tipping over to the side, I'm trying to stay between two imaginary panes of glass here. And I'm not trying to twist as I'm doing this. I'm trying to stay, keep this a very lateral bend with no twisting. And head over to the other side. Working in some really nice deep breaths. If you want to tip over even further, you might want to spread your feet a bit wider and then really reach. Lovely. Come back up to center whenever you're ready, and then just reach your hands back a little bit further than you normally would be inclined to. You can look up at the ceiling as well as you reach back if it's comfortable for you. Of course, if it hurts anything, don't do that. Beautiful. Bring the arms down now. Take a few shoulder rolls just to relax. Lovely. And now I'm going to take my hands and I'm going to either reach back behind me, or I'm going to clasp my hands and then draw my knuckles down, or I can hold the opposite elbows, whichever one is most comfortable for you. But we're aiming to reach our hands back in some form so that we're keeping the chest open as we do this next thing. So my hands are clasped behind me now. I'm going to roll my shoulders open and back and down. And then I'm going to take a couple of deep breaths here. Getting that deep breath, because that is changing the way the stretch is hitting me. Hopefully you can feel a little different when your lungs are really full of air, and when you've done a really complete exhale, the stretch will feel a little bit different. And now we're going to just play with this a little bit by dropping the left shoulder down, bring the right shoulder up. So we've got a little lateral bend as our hands are going back behind us. And we're taking that deep inhale here as well. If you'd like to, you can also drop your left ear down towards your left shoulder as you take your nice deep breaths. And come back up to center. If you need a little shakeout, go for it. If you're good, we're going to go do the other side next. And I'm going to just drop my right ear to my right shoulder, drop my right shoulder down. So I'm getting a little bit of a lateral bend. And I'm going to make sure that my chest is nice and open. So if my shoulders have come back in, I'm rolling them down and back as I take my nice deep breaths. Beautiful. Come back up to center. Take another shoulder roll. If it feels good, you could do some really big arm circles. The next thing that we're going to do is going to have our arms in front. And what I'm going to say is bring your right arm across your body. Use your left hand to help yourself into the stretch a little bit more. And then I'm going to round my back a little bit and really breathe into that stretch. So I'm taking really nice deep breaths here, playing with the angles a little bit to try and find that stretch. Hopefully you're able to find stretchy positions or stretchy feelings in each of these positions. But you might also be noticing that stretches in different muscles or different parts of your body feel a little bit different. And that can be an interesting thing just to observe and take note of. You can play with this stretch a little bit by bringing your hand up or down, drawing your shoulder up or down, even rounding out more through your back or a little bit less, finding where it's just right for you. And whenever you're ready to switch sides, you're going to bring your left arm across your body, hold on to it with your right hand, and just help yourself into that stretch a little bit more. You're rounding your back, you're playing with angles, you're breathing. Take a moment to notice how this side might feel a little bit different than the last side. Maybe you're a little bit bendier or a little bit more tense. Or maybe having your hand up and your shoulder down was amazing on the other side, and this side, it just doesn't hit the same way. Given that you might be right or left-handed, it's not unusual to have some lopsidedness. And it can be really helpful to think of our quirks as just being, oh, something else to love about ourselves. Beautiful. Whenever you're ready, bring your arms down, get in a little bit of a wiggle, relax any tensions that built up for being in one position just a hair too long. And the next thing we're going to do is a little bit of a twist. Now, I love a good twist. And usually when I twist, I like to inhale, lengthen through my spine. So almost like somebody has one of my hairs and they're pulling me straight up. And then every time I exhale, I twist a little bit more. Or that's the aim. Might not actually happen, especially after you've gone through a few cycles. So inhale, lengthen, exhale, twist. And you'll notice I'm not using my hands to help me into this position. I'm just doing this under my own muscles. At least at first, I find that it's really respectful of my body to go into a twist slowly. And then after I've been here a little while, I know how I'm feeling today, then if I'd like, I can use my hands to just really gently help myself into the stretch. And I like to include my neck in this twist as well, but if that doesn't work for you, that is totally fine. One last inhale to lengthen through your spine. Exhale to twist just a tiny bit more. And then come back to center. If you need to do a little bit of a wiggle to shake it out, totally fine. And then we'll do the other side. So I'm inhale, lengthening, and then exhale, twisting. And then if you want, you can use your hands to help you into the stretch just a little bit more. Lovely. And whenever you're ready, you can come back to center. So we've done a bunch of different angles, but one thing that's really nice to do is to let gravity hit us from a different angle, a different perspective as we're doing our stretching. So we're going to come down to a cat-cow-like position. So put your hands on something, either a desk, I have a stool here, you could use your own knees, whatever you have handy, even a wall will kind of work. And of course, you're welcome to be on all fours on the ground if that works for you. But I'm going to inhale and drop my chest down towards the floor, but also trying to pull it between my hands here. And sometimes to settle in, it could be nice to just sort of take a few breaths in this position, thinking about drawing the back of your head back, settling into the position so that chest is coming forward, making sure that the lower back isn't taking all of the arch, but that your middle back and upper back are getting some of that benefit too. If it's better for you, you might want to bend your knees here. And then whenever you're ready, rounding. Now, a lot of times when you're doing cat-cow, the rounding is done on the exhale, but you're also welcome to take a few breaths here. And just sink into the position and see how it feels good. Similar to when we are arching the back, you aren't going to want your upper back to take all of the rounding. You're going to want to let your lower back and tucking your chin to get your cervical spine some of that benefit as well. I tend to talk at the camera, so I'm not doing the best example right now. But if I was doing this well, I would definitely be tucking my chin. And now that we've had a moment to settle in here, let's take a few cycles where we inhale and we arch the back. And we exhale and we round. Just going back and forth at your own pace, with your own breath. Lovely. Feel free to go through one more cycle, one more of each, and then stand up. Check in with your body, see if there's any other body part that could really use a delightful stretch right now. And you have a few seconds to just give your body that stretch. And then if there's nothing else that you want to stretch, you're welcome to take 3 more breaths with me, just inhaling your arms up and exhaling them down. If there's any other type of breathing that you love to do, you could certainly do that in place of the inhaling arms up. And exhale really completely. And that's your movement break for this Tuesday. I hope you had a good time and I hope you have a great afternoon. Take care, everybody.